Hi, welcome to day 15 of Getting to Know Yourself. I just want to veer off from what we were speaking about. It's actually related, but we've been speaking about this idea that we're this pure neshama and we want to identify as who we really are and identify others as who they really are. And if you see this picture, we want to come to sing the song of each of our souls, right? Now, Rav Schwartz has another book called Getting to Know Your Soul, and in it he introduces four midos, four elements that our personality can be divided into, and he labels them as fire, wind, water, and earth. And what we want to do is have a balanced personality. I'm trying to make this practical now. I mean, understanding that we have to change what we're identifying with and not identify with the actions, thoughts, and feelings that are coming from our body and that make us feel covered up and like we can't shine our light is good advice, but it's hard to know, okay, how is this practically playing out? And we spoke a little bit about that with sadness and when we identify back to who we really are, and with other types of emotions. But let's just look here at the four elements. So they're called fire, wind, water, and earth. And if we think about it, it's hard to know. I always, like I said at the beginning, I always look not at what I do want, but at what I don't want, and then I could figure out what I do want. So the negative of fire, let's look at the negative aspect that would be found in our personality in these elements. So if a person has too much fire, they have too much anger. If a person has too much wind, they're all over the place. They're distracted all the time, running from this to that, and not at all still. If a person has too much water, their desires rule them. And if a person has too much earth, it's more laziness and sadness. Now, can these negative traits be used toward positive? Sure, because fire, anger, we can fight for what we believe in. That the Torah teaches is right. So you can have righteous anger, but it would have to be the type that is not coming from ego. It's coming from clarity from the soul that right now I have to stop this. Like when in last week's Parsha, well, I've recorded a few in advance, but in the Parsha when Moshe Rabbeinu says, Mila Hashem Elai, whoever is for Hashem after the Chet HaEgel, follow me. So he was righteously proclaiming, come, join me and go against the people that are doing that. Wind, when is it a good time to use that aspect of running and busy? So let's think about it. When you want to be running and busy with doing mitzvos that other people aren't jumping up to do, that's a great time to do it. Water, what is a good space for desires? So yeah, the desires to deepen your relationship with Hashem, with yourself, and with others. And so whatever desires bring you to that space, those are good desires. And earth, laziness, sadness. So sadness, we spoke about sadness a few times, I think 2 or 3 times ago, but laziness sometimes is good, because if you're really in the mood to go do something that isn't going to be good for you, tap into your laziness then, and you'll be pleasantly surprised by how you could just relax instead of go do that thing that wouldn't have been good for you. So this is a way to look at your personality and begin to be aware of, okay, which element is my downfall, so to speak, like is taking me out of balance, and how do I get in touch with that element and flip it so that I use it for making myself back in balance. And you could also use the other elements, let's say water, too much desire. So maybe add a little bit of earth there, maybe add a little bit of wind, maybe add a little bit of fire. Now he has a whole book on this. I just did an overall short synopsis, but the idea is there's so many different ways to get to know ourselves. I mean, there must be infinite ways because Hashem is infinite. So there's infinite opportunities in every moment to deepen our understanding of ourselves. And I don't think we ever stop until we're dead understanding ourselves. But the point is, are we on the path? Did we take the first step to realize, wait a minute, I've been trying to understand the garments till now. I've been trying to understand my actions, my thoughts, and emotions that are totally built on a false story of who I am. I'm not those things. And I'm no longer going to identify myself as my job, my title, what I'm called in my household. That's not who I am. Those things can reveal who I am, but they are not who I am. So I just wanted to make that clear. I've been listening back to some of these recordings. By the way, let me tell you, it is not pleasant at all to listen to yourself speaking into a recording. It just isn't. So don't try this on your free time. But what I've noticed is when I'm reading from the book, I don't think the message is getting as clear as when I'm just speaking and making it more practical. And I think that's because when we're not in a chabura and having talking back and forth, it's hard to know what people are getting, and it gets a little boring to just hear someone reading material. So I'm going to try to do it more this way from here on. Anyway, have a beautiful day. Speak to you tomorrow. Amir Tzah Hashem.